can find out that the majority of patients is suffering from fatigue. And in fact, for fatigue, belimumab, in my experience, and that's really my personal experience, is quite well controlled by belimumab. So what I'm saying is that the drug works well for fatigue, which is very good. Now, at least for many patients. Now, the other thing you asked about the steroid tapering. Well, in that regard, I have mixed results. Some patients, yes, as I said, they feel better and they can reduce steroids. At the same time, there are some patients, it's probably 50-50. Well, that's, again, a very rough estimate. Very 50-50 distribution. 50%, there's almost no or very low reduction in steroid dose possible.
Okay, got it. And kind of jumping from efficacy to cost. So have you ever had any issues come up with patients being able to afford or, getting coverage for Benlysta, either of the two formulations?
Sorry, if I ever had an issue with the cost for the medication?
Yeah, with cost or coverage. Have there ever been patients who didn't have coverage through whichever insurance they were on?
I mean that's probably that's our German system. The medication is approved for lupus, and if the medication is approved, I can prescribe the medication to every patient who has the diagnosis, and the health insurance have to pay for it. So no, there's been never a case. The only question is if I, as a rheumatologist, prescribe so much more Benlysta as other rheumatologists, but that's we're talking about all biologics. If I'm prescribing so much more biologics, then I could be controlled by the that's our German system, by the KV, what it's called. That's like our structural association. They could ask and control and look for every individual patient. But in order to have that, one has to prescribe many biologics.
Okay, got it. Because I know you mentioned earlier.
Question, it's not a problem for the individual patient.
Okay, because I know you mentioned earlier that Benlysta was expensive, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, it's expensive, right? It's expensive for the system, and some patients, if they, whatever reason, if they hear about the cost, because sometimes I tell them. Some patients say, oh, the system is not doing much for me. And I tell them, well, listen, I mean, you're getting a very expensive medication, which is also very important because it really increases compliance and adherence for the patients. They say, oh, wow, this is something that's very expensive, so it also must be very good. At least that's the reaction of some of the patients.
Okay. Got it. So the patients themselves don't have to take on that cost. It's the overall healthcare system. No. In fact, the thing is, in Germany, we have 10% of the patients that are privately insured, and those 10% of the patients, they will get reimbursed by the health insurances, but they have to pay their medication first. So if they go to a pharmacy, they have to pay it, and then they send the invoice to the health insurance. They, of course, they know the price of the medication all the time, and sometimes they say, oh, wow, that's a lot of money I have to, spend first until I get reimbursed. That'll take some time. So for those patients, private insurance is a little, in fact, disadvantaged compared to the